right, YouTube is live. Excellent. Instagram. All right. 1 sec here for Instagram. There we go. All right, Substack is there. Bam. There is Substack. Excellent. Hey, NJ. Tanya. There we go. Okay, Substackers are there. That's good. Discord is there. YouTube and everything's working. Good. Hello. All right, and on TikTok, and then we are good. There we go. All right, starting TikTok. I think we're good. Rainy day, which I kind of like rainy days. So, kind of rainy out. Washington, USA. Hey, mama. All right. TikTok is going. We're good. The camera's flipped. I think we are good. And I'm going to yawn at you again. Oh, God. I woke up early. Anyway. Previewing. Uh-oh. I don't have the live on. Still have the live on. No, it's Thursday. Yeah. Okay. It's showing me people previewing the live. I'm not sure what that's about. Oh, it must be scanning through and seeing the lives. Okay. Hey, everybody. TikTok is so weird. And now they're giving me messages. People are previewing your live. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? So they mean people scanning through other lives. Anyway, hey, guys. Oh, morning, Dan in Australia. So, yes, we come together. We talk about the day's news. We're going to start talking. Well, actually, we're going to start talking about Trump's arch. Air Force One is on the list, too. I know that I put that as the title. That's one of the things. But the arch news also kind of broke today. And Air Force One. Trump totally screwed up Air Force One. It was actually kind of funny that he couldn't fly back from Turkey. Sorry, guys. Couldn't fly back from Turkey on Air Force One because he screwed it up and it wasn't safe. It's like, okay, Donald. Good job. Good job, Donald. Way to go. Anyway, good afternoon. I am very tired today. We actually went to the Damien and I went to the mall today to see the last couple of days of the Great American State Fair. And actually, I would say it was somewhat better today. It felt like it still isn't a state fair, but it felt like there was a little bit more there. I'm really yawning badly. Sorry. Oh, God. Sorry about that. But it felt like there was a touch more there today. It's still not a state fair. I mean, it's a, I don't know what the hell it is, a high school thing. It's not a state fair, but it was slightly more entertaining than it was previously. So anyway, hello, everybody. So welcome. Welcome to the show, guys. We're going to talk about the latest political news here from the U.S. That goes. And keep the gifts coming. I always make my gift pitch because I do this for a living. So I appreciate your gifts. TikTok, YouTube, everywhere. Oh, I'm really yawning bad today, guys. I'm sorry. Oh, man. Are we great again? I don't know. Still working on it. Anyway, I actually don't have a ton of news today. I've got news. We got news. We're talking about some big stories. But I think because I was at that crazy mall and didn't get home until like 2:30, 3 o'clock, I have less news prepared for today because I was trying to cover the mall, cover the Great State Fair, the not so great American state fairs. Yes, not so great. Anyway, let's get rolling, guys. All right. So Trump's arch, I'm reading some conflicting news on this, to be honest. So there was a commission got together today. The commission is run by Trump people. White House guy runs the commission. It's total bullshit. And they had testimony about, the arch. And I'm just going to keep yawning at you. I'm sorry. It looks like they approved the arch, but they also said some changes are necessary. There's a law in Washington, D.C. that buildings cannot be taller than, I think it's 130 feet. 130-foot limit, and the arch is going to be 250 foot. So what the commission said was they recommended basically Trump, he's going to have like the arch and then the big ridiculous angel or whatever, that liberty or whatever the hell it is on top. They're recommending he decrease the height of the arch to like 130 feet. It's going to have some additional thing that's 20 feet and then the Angel Liberty thing on top, increase it to 100 feet. So now it'll still be a 200. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's going to be a 250-foot arch with 100-foot Angel Liberty on top. Again, only the tackiest Liberace president in history would want this, but that's who we've got. We take the Liberace presidents that we get. And so that's what they're talking about. So the Washington Post is saying they approved it. What the other article I read said, they said that they still needed to hear more from the FAA and they needed to hear back about changing the height. So it's crazy. Now, that's a good point. Ooh, that's a very good point. If the main arch has to be shorter, then is it not shorter than the Arc de Triomphe? I mean, the Angel's tall. That's really nice, but you know what I mean? So who knows? Who knows? That's the latest on the arch thing. Ridiculous. Now, the arch is going to take 3 years to build. It's going to, maybe I'll make a coffee. I didn't do a third coffee. I sometimes don't because I've been getting some heartburn, but at the same time, I could use something to pick. I don't want to have heartburn later. It's the only reason I'm not going to have a coffee right now. I don't want to risk it. But I can tell that's probably why I'm tired. I often will have a third coffee in the afternoon. But like I said, I've been getting some heartburn. So I'm like, third coffee, not a good idea. So we're going to skip it, even though it means I'm feeling a little bit whatever. Yeah, but tea still does that though. Tea is better. But I feel like tea is still gonna I'm just very tired right now, guys. Like I said, we got up kind of early. My inhaler. That's I'm not going to do it, but that's very funny. My asthma inhaler, that's true. Because whenever I do my asthma inhaler, it always makes me hyper. Actually, I do have I think I've got a shot of Coca-Cola left. There's an interesting idea. That could work as I have literally a shot of Coca-Cola left. Maybe that's enough to give me a little caffeine, a little sugar, not so much that I get heartburn, but enough that that's not bad though. Enough for a shot of sugar. Okay, that was small, but maybe enough to give me a little bit of a jolt. We'll see. Anyway, so that's what's up with the arch. That's getting Coca-Cola sugar off my teeth. The thing is with the arch thing is funny because Trump is saying it's going to take, news is running too. It's going to take 3 years to build. Thank you, Pizzle. It's going to take 3 years to build. He wants them working 20 hours a day, 2 10-hour shifts a day, which means by the time the arch is built, hey, Brian, by the time the arch is built, the next president's going to be here. I was talking to a friend today, and she said, bulldoze it. Just knock the damn thing down. There's a good argument for bulldozing it. We cannot have a president do things illegally. And if he's going to do things illegally, then we should basically undo everything he's done. Thank you, Blue. Appreciate that. We should just undo everything he's done and send the message that if you're going to do stuff illegally, we're just going to undo it next time. Your name on the currency, all the other crap he's going to do, the airport stuff, everything he's trying to do. Any case, the Trump is, oh God, it looks like he's taking down 200-foot columns at the White House. So the White House entrance has those big, beautiful white columns. It's been rumored for weeks Trump was going to do this, and it looks like today he's doing it. He's illegally taking down the 200-foot columns at the White House because they're not gaudy enough. Because, of course, Liberace, President Liberace has to have the columns at the White House be as gaudy as possible, as flamboyant as they're not flamboyant enough. They're not village people enough. So he's just put up tarp in front, and everyone is convinced he's about to get rid of the 200-year-old columns at the White House. I mean, again, this is the crap he gets away with. This is the crap he's going to get away with. Right, they'll probably be gold. He's going to throw away the 200-year-old wood, the huge piece of history of the White House. He's going to change the whole damn White House. They're going to let him do it. I mean, it's absolutely freaking outrageous, the stuff he's doing. But that was the latest story. New York Times, what was it, Doug Doug Mills of the New York Times put up a photo of TARP covering the columns. As we said, like, it never stops with him. So a story that'll make you feel good, though, Donald Trump couldn't fly Air Force One today because he screwed it up and it wasn't safe. So Trump flew Air Force One to Turkey for the NATO summit. And he had to leave. He was done with the NATO summit. And the Secret Service told him, sorry, sir, it's not safe to fly Air Force One. He couldn't fly Air Force One. The new one that the Arab government bribed him with, right? The $400 million plane that the Arabs gave him. And then we spent $1 billion making it pretty so that Trump can just take it as his in the next 2 years. Once he leaves, he's going to take it for his library. Basically, the Secret Service determined that, what a surprise, Trump's new Air Force One, apparently it's not secure enough. It's not as safe as the regular Air Force Ones. Who could have guessed it? Who could have guessed that Donald Trump rushed the job and did such a shitty job that the plane isn't even safe for the President of the United States? Well, literally, this is the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool all over again, where everything started coming up off the bottom because Trump rushed it and did such a shitty job. Well, he rushed the plane. These planes, I was reading them today. We all know what the planes have, right? It's got like, it can throw out shaft to make, to throw off missiles. Thank you, Mel. Apparently, they even have to be secure enough to handle an electromagnetic pulse from a nuclear bomb going off. Crazy stuff these planes have to survive, of course. And Trump had them rush it. And they were concerned. The Secret Service was so concerned that we had started hostilities with Iran again. The Secret Service told him Air Force One basically wasn't secure enough for him to fly. It was dangerous. The Iranians might be able to get him. They had to bring in the old Air Force One that he's refusing to use. Yeah. It's honestly funny as hell. It's upsetting that this guy spent all of our money building an Air Force One and he screwed up. The plane Donald Trump built, the one that was the bribe from the Qatari government, was such a shitty job he did that the Secret Service had to tell him, sir, it's not safe for you to fly on that plane. So they had to bring in the old Air Force One because this idiot built a bad, unsafe Air Force One. Again, it's funny as hell, really, that the great builder screwed up Air Force One. What a surprise. I know, let him walk. That's the way I feel. Honestly, they should just let him fly in the Air Force One. Say, no. I've been assured Donald Trump told us that was the greatest plane in the world. There was nothing better. I think we should just let him fly it, right? He assured us it was good. He's the best builder in the world. Why would you doubt the security of the plane? No, the man literally screws up everything he touches. Again, greatest construction guy in the world. They had to bring in the old Air Force One, which, by the way, the old Air Force One is fine, right? We didn't need to spend $1 billion of our money on the damn plane. The old Air Force One is fine, but we had to waste the money on it. And again, he's wasting $1 billion of our money on that plane, and in 2 years, he's taken the plane. Why are we putting money in the plane at all? Because Donald Trump wants to use our money to beef up his gift. That's why. Absolutely unbelievable. This is wild. So 3 more people have been charged with destruction of the reflecting pool. And I looked at the charging documents or whatever, and it's very interesting. I think I may or may not have one of them on here. Let's see, because I probably don't actually, because the damn thing never synchronizes. Did I do it again? I probably did it again. Did I do it again? Oh, actually, I have the picture, though. This is the picture from the New York Times. This is the tarp they're putting up. The tarp has fake columns on it because they're trying to hide what they're doing below. So that's the actual tarp with a picture on it. And they're going to be doing something underneath. Everyone thinks what they're doing is they're going to be removing the 200-year-old columns. There was something else, if I can find it. Shoot. That was pretty today. Oh, that is a pretty picture, actually. That's a picture I took today. I went by the National, the Sculpture Garden again, but I like the way the water droplets turned into like lots of little individual droplets, which is kind of neat. It's just kind of it's a nice enough picture, but I like that the droplets are literally like something out of a painting with like, kind of cool. It's not going to synchronize. Shoot. I had another picture I was going to show you guys. Nope, it's all right. Not going to find it right now. It's okay. I had grabbed actually, it's on my computer. Pointillism, that's it. It is on my computer. Let me pull this up. Hold on, let me see if I can find this. Because basically, I went to the court record and pulled up what the court had to say, or what they claimed about the people they were going after for the reflecting pool, claiming they did all this damage. Listen to this, okay? Thank you for the gift. Who's that? Simon and Lady for the hand heart. So listen to this, right? On Saturday, June 20th at approximately 12:32 hours, officers so-and-so responded to a reflecting pool for an individual peeling paint off the bottom of the pool. We arrived at the reflection pool. A male was detained, later identified as so-and-so. Dean Miller witnessed Carreno, who's the guy, the suspect, right? Or the defendant. Dean Miller witnessed Carreno reach down into the reflecting pool and pull up a piece of the blue paint. Officer Casey went over and put handcuffs on him. Blah, 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 blah. Now, I'm going to read both of these, actually. I read that one and I go, you were several feet away from him. You saw him reach in the water and pull up a piece. How do you know he ripped the piece off the bottom? How do you know he didn't just take a piece that was floating in the water? Right? I mean, the cop wasn't standing next to him. Obviously, the guy I wouldn't even reach my hand in the water to pick up a piece of garbage if a cop's standing next to me now, because I know they're all fascists, right? How do they know he ripped the piece? He saw underwater, right? The next one gets even better. Listen to the next one. This is the next one's the one I wanted to read to you. Listen to this one, okay? On Saturday at approximately blah, 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 officers so-and-so were dispatched to the reflecting pool. A report of a female detained for peeling up a piece of the reflecting pool. Upon arrival, we met with officer so-and-so who advised us he had, listen to this. Okay, so they say a female who had how did they say it? Who had peeled off a piece of the reflecting pool. But then listen to what they actually say. Advised he witnessed Dennis and Gibby remove a piece of the reflecting pool paint. Okay, what do you mean remove? I took custody of her and found one additional piece in her purse. Okay, again, what do you mean remove? Did she put her hand in the water and pick a piece up? I mean, these allegations so far, I'm not reading clear allegations of a crime yet. That's the first problem, right? Did they reach in and find a piece of floating? Because we know there were pieces floating in the water. We know one journalist in DC actually found a piece on the grass, right? So that was the first question, right? Second question, and a lawyer brought this up last night, and a lawyer last night said, if you don't, hang on a second, that does look good. There's some brownie recipes I saw last night. The lawyer said, you can't be charged with destroying property that's already been destroyed. And the lawyer said, if the reflecting pool, remember what I mentioned, if the reflecting pool was already so damaged on its own that the whole thing, thank you, Tarad, the whole thing was going to have to come up. They were going to have to dry it out, remove all the sealant, and put new sealant on. Then even if you cut a piece of sealant, it doesn't matter. You're not doing damage. Actually, I'd go one step further. If you remove, let's say you do forcefully remove the sealant, you cut it or you rip it or you pull it off the bottom. If it all had to be replaced anyway, did you really cause damage? They're saying you caused $100 or $1,000 worth of damage. No, you didn't. I mean, if literally the entire, I mean, if this table I'm sitting at is so damaged it has to be replaced and thrown out, and you come and you take a hammer and you hit the table and you dent it, I can't say, well, oh, you just caused $100 damage in the table that I'm throwing out in an hour into the trash heap, right? You didn't really cause $100 damage if the table is trashed and can no longer be used. That's the first problem. Second problem, and I was thinking of this, was the part of the pool. This is lawyers get. I love property law, by the way. I'm a lawyer, but I love property law. The part of the reflecting pool that was peeling off, okay, but was still attached. Let's say you ripped a piece off of here, right? Is there a difference between reaching to the bottom of the pool and let's pretend the reflecting pool, that the entire pool doesn't have to be fixed. Let's pretend they could somehow, I don't know, whatever. Is there a difference between reaching to good sealant and ripping a piece off versus the sealant that's already come off but is still attached, but it's flapping in the water, and taking this top part and ripping a little bit here, right? You could argue that the sealant on the bottom is still in good shape. The sealant that's detached is not in good shape anymore. Is there a difference in terms of which sealant the person, even if the person didn't find it floating in the water and found it attached, is there a difference if it was attached to this flap that was just damaged and hanging in the water versus they reached to the bottom and pulled something that was still attached? Legally, I would argue there's a difference. Now, there may be no difference because the entire thing may need to be replaced. And as I said, if the entire thing needs to be replaced, then you didn't damage anything. You damaged something that was already trash, that was getting thrown out. Anyway, I think they're going to have a very difficult time because I would put the officer under cross-examination and say, okay, so you saw exactly what? And you literally saw her rip it? Could she have grabbed a floating piece? Oh, no, it wasn't a floating piece. It was a piece she ripped. Okay. And the piece she ripped, was it off the bottom or was it off something that was already detached? And watch him say, oh, it was, I don't even know which. Because I got news for you. If something was detached 1 inch, I mean, the pool's got to be like a foot deep, at least. If something was detached 1 inch, you couldn't tell if I reached to the bottom and I either pulled off the bottom or I pulled a little bit off the part that's detached. If it's detached 1 inch, you're never going to be able to tell the difference. And I would challenge them to say, you tell the court which one it was. Yeah, anyway. No, the whole thing is, this is Trump. Trump screwed it up. Trump screwed up the reflecting pool just like he screwed up Air Force One. He rushed it and he did a shitty job because that's what he does, right? And he is desperate to prove that other people did it and other people didn't do it. And by the way, in the end, let's get chicken and egg straightened out here. In the end, people took pieces of the pool because they were floating. People took pieces of the pool because they were detached. I went there. The whole reason people went to look was because the sealant was detaching. People didn't go to see the sealant that was working. We went to see the sealant that was already detached. So to suggest that these people caused the sealant to get detached when the very reason they went to look for the sealant was it was already detached is classic Trump bullshit, but you know that. Any case, I think all these guys are getting off, to be honest. I don't think I think they're going to have a very hard time convicting it unless they can literally, no, the cops are going to lie. They're going to lie, but that's when you get the cop under oath and you go, oh, that's really interesting. So you saw her ripping it 12 inches underwater from 20 feet away, right? That's interesting. You know what I'd say? I'd say that's interesting because I've got some photos here that I took from 20 feet away of the water. And I want you to, and I've got my hand under there, and I want you to tell me what my hand is doing in the photo from 20, that's what I would have put the cop, from 20 feet away, 12 inches underwater. Say, tell me what it is, right? Because again, unfortunately, we've got somebody Trump, he's a con man. He can't construct stuff. He destroyed Air Force One, which was laughable. He destroyed the reflecting pool, which is laughable. He destroyed the White House. He's now trying to destroy the comments on the White House or the columns. I mean, the guy's a joke, but this isn't, and I realize it's embarrassing for some of the Trump supporters, but you're always welcome. You're always welcome to leave. You can always leave him. Might be the smartest thing to do. Listen to this. Marco Rubio. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has invited ministers, thank you, Blue, has invited ministers from more than 60 countries to a meeting next week about what the Trump administration views as a major peril: the resurgence of transnational far-left terrorism, according to documents reviewed by the Washington Post. The resurgence of transnational far-left terrorism. There's some kind of international connectedness of far left. I don't even know of any far left terrorists anymore. I couldn't even think of any far left terrorist groups anymore. Who are they? Right? Like far right. Well, even far right. It depends how you define them anymore. Well, far right, we already know. We've got the white supremacists or whatever, right? But what would you even call like far left terrorism? I don't even know what that would be anymore. But Antifa doesn't exist. I mean, and they're not terrorists anyway, but they don't exist, right? I mean, you had like the 1980s, right? Was it Farabundo Martí? I'm trying to think like the FMLN, but these were like Marxist rebels in Latin America and stuff. But there's like the 1980s. I mean, yeah, but even eco-terrorism. When's the last time you've heard of any eco-terrorism, right? Like years ago, they would burn down new resorts. I mean, very bad stuff, but they would burn down resorts and things being built in forests or something, right? Like that doesn't work. I mean, but literally the research transnational is my favorite because it's an international connectedness of far left terrorism. No, these guys, the thing is, as all the studies have shown, including the FBI's own studies, right? The terrorism has always come from the right. It has always come from the right in the last 20 years. It has always been right wing. 5-1 was the number, more or less. It wasn't 10-1. It was around 5-1, I think, was the number of right wing, violent right wing terrorism attacks in America versus violent left wing terrorism attacks. Always the case. And Republicans even got it killed. The Obama people had put out a report about it, and the Republicans freaked out. How dare you accuse right wingers of terrorism? And it was like, well, I don't know. What do you want me to do, right? I got news for you. The white supremacists, they don't exactly vote for Barack Obama. Like what do you want me to do? Anyway, little Ukraine news. Ukraine hit 14 Russian ships overnight in the Sea of Azov. That's good. President Trump is now supporting Ukraine striking targets deep inside Russia, saying the escalation could help end the war. That's good. The Czech president had an odd comment. And I may Google and see if I can pull up more on this. He's good. We like the Czech president. But he said, Kyiv has only 2 months to end the war with Russia or risk further escalation. According to him, the Kremlin could announce a nationwide mobilization after Russia's parliamentary elections scheduled for September 20th. So what he's talking about is he's concerned that the Russians, let me look here, that the Russians may basically try to have a draft, a nationwide draft. Yeah, so here's more. I'm pulling up more of it here. Let me see here. It's weird. I mean, I'm not quite sure what the usefulness is of his comment, though. Here we go. Let me pull this up from the Telegraph. Still quotes, so it's useful. Oh, dear God, enough of this. Every freaking newspaper now is requiring you to register, but it's like every freaking newspaper. It's out of control. Like, I get it, but every newspaper. Russia could further escalate its war in Ukraine after September's parliamentary elections. Czech President Petro Pavel says, I believe that the window is there for us to keep pushing and giving Russia a clear message that we are willing to start negotiations, Pavel said. Russia will have parliamentary elections in September. President Putin will hardly declare mobilization before, but once the elections are over, then the window will shrink. The last time Putin implemented mobilization, it was very unpopular, led men to leave. In Pavel's thinking, Putin is not likely to order another mobilization until after the September elections, scheduled for September 20. Quote, Russia has a lot of internal problems and challenges at this point, the Czech leader said. The Russian public is turning increasingly against the war. President Putin will have difficulties keeping calm at home, and if this pressure continues, if Ukraine continues to be capable and successful in hitting targets deep inside Russia, it will create the conditions where Russia will be more inclined to negotiate. So in his thinking, there's a sense of urgency to give Ukraine what they need to be successful. All right. I don't know. Weird. Yeah, I'm not sure what to, it was interesting, but I wasn't quite sure what to make of it. It's weird, Don't know. And finally, Ukraine says they are going to receive Patriot missiles from allies, but unclear when. That, of course, is the big concern. So I do not have more news today, but I can start going through my defense Twitter feed and see what I find there. As I said, I was sort of spent the day going back to Trump's little not so great American state fair, not so great American, not very state fair. But I can look and see what else we can find here in my Twitter feed of my defense people I follow. Oh, yawning again, you. Oh man. Let's see what we got here. World Cup is still going on. What's the World Cup doing right now? What's the deal? Meaning how far do they have to get before it's over? When do they start doing semifinals and quarterfinals and that kind of stuff? Octafinals, whatever they're called. Have they not reached that point yet? It is 8 teams left? Okay, so is that quarterfinals? No, semifinals would be 4 teams. So 8 teams should be quarterfinals, yeah. Oh, okay. France just beat Morocco? Okay. All right, interesting. Saturday is the quarterfinals? Okay. I was just wondering. I don't particularly care, but I see. I'm looking at this right now. France, Morocco. You said France just beat Morocco. Spain, Belgium, Norway, England, Argentina, Switzerland. Okay. That's funny. The CNN people were pushing Scott Jennings on his little. I talked to Mitch McConnell. Again, Mitch McConnell, let's see. Let me pull this up again and see if there's any news on Mitch McConnell's health, but I'm very suspicious on Mitch McConnell's health. Let's see. Oops, what is that weird little thing thrown at the end of his name? There it is. No. Nope. Still nothing here. Yeah. There's a lot of people saying we don't really know. Oof. Republican lawmaker says he doesn't know if Mitch McConnell is alive. Ooh. Representative Marlin Stutzman, Republican of Indiana, said Thursday he doesn't know whether Senator Mitch McConnell is still alive, criticizing the lack of updates about the Kentucky senator's condition after nearly a month in the hospital. I have not heard from him. Hang on here. I have not heard from him, and I think it's a question that Republicans should be asking because he does represent the state of Kentucky. His constituents deserves answers where he's at. I mean, my view on this, yeah. Well, good. No, he's right. I mean, and again, I say the same for Democrats. I don't think any of these guys should think they can just stay in power if they're deathly ill. So then CNN turned around because Scott Jennings, who's that Republican sycophant on CNN who worked for McConnell, and claimed, I had a nearly 20-minute conversation with Mitch McConnell the other day. We talked about all sorts of things about Iran and the world. And they said to him on CNN, they said, that's great, Scott. Let's get him on the phone right now. Scott didn't want to get McConnell on the phone right then. Yeah. That's what they were saying. One up was Tom Massey could run for McConnell's seat, but they don't want him to because Massey is very critical of Trump. So they're trying to wait until the clock runs out, and then it's a different kind of, I forget what, but it's a different kind of situation, which puts Massey at a greater disadvantage. Let me see here. Just looking here. The Senate, Reuters writes, the Senate has been on a July 4th break since June 24th. Let me see here. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, anyway, nothing else to do there. It's bad. It's very bad. Bitty bad. What else we got, guys? August 8th? I don't remember what the deadline. I want to say the deadline, I thought was August, like in a month or something, was some kind of deadline. They're trying to run out the clock so they don't get the guy who's anti-Trump winning the election instead of McConnell. What else here? The Daily Mail. Do we trust the Daily Mail? I'm going to say no. And some investigative journalist from News Nation. NASA's chief administrator has confirmed that the space agency has taken images of objects which can only be described as UFOs. Really? I'm not sure I believe that. I'm also not convinced the Daily Mail is the source I'm looking for that. Well, that's okay. He says, I think there's a very real possibility we're going to arrive at a conclusion in our lifetime that perhaps there's life everywhere out there and that it isn't as infrequent as we think it possible to be. Yeah, that's fair. He didn't really say UFOs or life, though. He just said we've captured imagery. We don't know what it is. Well, that's weird. That's weird. Apollo. This image features a high unidentified phenomenon. So there's some kind of weird unidentified phenomenon. Are there multiple? What is this? Lunar services viewed. Highlighted areas in which unidentified phenomenon. Oh, so there's a number of different weird things in the sky, weird lights in the sky, but they don't know what they're from. Okay. Yeah, it's the Daily Mail. I'd like to see it from a better source than the Daily Mail. So, what else we got? Oh, you okay? I'm sorry. And then here's a different story. The new voice of Ukraine. Ukraine is set to receive additional Patriot interceptor missiles along with a license to manufacture them. Yeah, but when's it getting them? I thought Zelensky said he didn't know when he's getting them. That article, I think, is being a little too cheery. Yeah, I think that article is a little too cheery, potentially. That yes, they're getting them someday, Anyway, what else, guys? Just trying. There's not a lot of news today. This is why I did not have a lot of news. There's not a lot of news today. Exactly, the White House. Exactly. I know it would be bummed. I'd be bummed if we didn't find intelligence life until after I was gone. That'd be kind of boring, I want to know now. My God, there's just honestly, guys, there isn't much news today. This is why I didn't have much news here in general. There just isn't much news here, at all. Bunny Tyler died. We saw that today, sadly. She wasn't that old. She was in her 70s. I didn't see what was wrong with her. you know. There's a fake book page. The Aravosis report is a fake page on Facebook that I'm trying to get rid of, but Facebook doesn't make it easy, Dave. Yeah, it's a fake page. Well, there's only one page I'm streaming to. That's me, John Aravosis. It's the only page I'm streaming to right now. Yep. But yeah, I found it. I found it a couple weeks ago, unfortunately. So, honestly, guys, there really isn't much news. Yeah, it's kind of, no, there isn't much news today. Yeah, I'm bored with the. I'm bored. There's no news. There's really no news today, unfortunately. So, yeah. Who's going to replace Graham Planter? I don't know. Is he still trying to negotiate that bullshit? He was like, "I'm not leaving unless I can pick who the alternative is," and people were like, "Dude, you are not picking the alternative." No. I mean, it really is. It's amazing because normally I go through my Twitter feed and I follow all the foreign policy types, defense type, political types, and it's amazing. I mean, I saw that he dropped, but he's no longer, or postponed or whatever, put it on ice. He's no longer making any demands. Is that not the? Is that not what's going on or what? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'm just blown away at the lack of news. Like I said, usually I scan through my Twitter feed and it's nonstop news. God. Yeah, repairs to the columns. He's destroying the columns of the White House. Son of a bitch. Pull up the article, but I don't think we're going to. Let's see. The column news. But yeah, still shroud of mystery. Not going to tell us what's going on. Workers on Thursday placed a shroud around the White House's north portico as they continued renovating the building's columns. The scaffolding went up in June. Interior Secretary has said Trump personally requested repairs to the columns. Oh, I'll bet. He sees door dings in the pillars and says, "Look at all this stuff. It needs to be repaired." Yeah. Sure. Trump has also mused about replacing the north portico columns with a more ornate style of column that he favors. Like I said, he wants gaudy. The White House previously said Trump would not replace the columns. Yeah, the White House also previously said, remember, that that Trump wasn't going to touch the East Wing. That whatever he did, he wasn't going to touch the East Wing at all. So, yeah, so much for that. So much for that. So, oh, the tarps. I'm sure the tarps are still on the Kennedy Center. I'm sure they are. Yeah. Yep. We had rain for the last couple hours. Looks like it's lifting now, obviously, and back there. But it was rainy up until now. We'll see. I don't think it's gonna. I think the sun is. I don't know. Actually, we'll see. If the sun pops out and gets bright, I'll close the curtains. It's trying, but it's not interfering yet. So we'll see. Anyway, it is early today. Yeah, like I said, the news went fast today. It's only 6:45. Oh, I said, I'm so tired. Oh, sorry, guys. I think the sun, well, it's still not peaking. I don't know where the sun is exactly. This time of day, I would think the sun would be above the clouds, like behind the dark clouds still, because it's still pretty early. Yeah, exactly, Gunther. So we'll see. Anyway, Avon, I don't want to talk about that right now. I'm with you, but I can't get into it. Um, that's the issue. Exactly. They're saying that Ukraine will get Patriot missiles someday, and Ukraine will be getting the licenses to get them to make the missiles someday. And that's the concern, whether someday is years hence from now, you know? So that would be the concern. So anyway, there's just no news today, guys. I'm sorry. I have nothing to I have nothing to give you. So Discord, I know we could do Discord. I mean, not there's anything to talk about on Discord. Although Discord, when we go on Discord, it's way less news focused. So we truly like Discord. We start getting into recipes and other stuff. That is true. That is true. But so we could potentially. Patrick Dempsey. What happened to Patrick Dempsey? We love McDreamy. Did something happen to McDreamy? Yeah, they were supposedly already draining the reflecting pool. Damien and I had planned on possibly going by, but we were at the march. We're at the Great American State Fair again just to see it one more time, and the sun came out, and it was like, it was impossible. So I couldn't do it. I mean, we couldn't go anywhere else at that point because it was like upper 80s, almost 90, and sunny and humid. So I was like, get us home. So we didn't go anywhere else at that point. I would have considered it, but there was a real butter cow at the Smithsonian. Oh, that's very cute. Sorry, who was that? Gunther talking about the prices? How bizarre. Wait, none of the parties are running against him? Although isn't Farage in a secure seat? Yeah, what's up with Patrick Dempsey? I can look and see. What do they want him to run? He's still hot. Why I'm not running for U.S. Senate? Oh, come on. That would have been wild. That's funny. But he says he's not going to run. Too bad. That would have been wild if he ran. He's so hot. Aging, but still hot. Great hair on that man. Interesting. Well, that would have been fun, but not happening apparently. So, oh well. Not right. Patrick Dempsey running would have been wild. Wow. I don't know whether that would have been a thing or not. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, the Nigel Farage stuff is pretty weird. I mean, he received I thought I read $6 million, like 6.7 million or something, 5 million pounds as a gift from a billionaire who didn't expect anything in return. He simply gave him $7 million just because. Yeah, if anybody gives you $7 million who isn't your mother or maybe your sibling, they're doing it for something. They're not giving you the money with no strings attached. The string is, I gave you $7 million. Someday I'm coming knocking. That's what the string is. There's absolutely no way. Absolutely no way. I mean, come on. No, it's gross. He's gross. You guys need to just keep hounding him and don't let him get away with it, because he's going to do the whole. Well, I got reelected. So what Trump did, right? I got reelected. Did I lighten my hair? No, this is, what my hair did though, when I got it cut short, it looks grayer. I noticed that when I got it cut last week. I was like, my hair looks grayer. It looks, to me at least, it looks less salt and pepper with it being cut short. No, the last thing I'm going to do is make my hair more gray. No. If I were 20, I might, I know the kids like to do that. At my age, we tend not to like to make our hair look more gray. Man. Yeah, Daniel, I don't know what show you watch, but no idea what you're talking about. Daniel goes, you need to not say that all police are fascists. Okay, well, that's pretty easy for me not to say since I've never said it. So that's pretty easy. So next up, yeah, that's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It always gets punky when it's short. Yeah, my hair for decades has gotten spiky when it gets short, which is fun. It's like, why not? I doubt I said that, Manya. Really doubt I said that. There is a 0% chance that I said that. I said lots of police are liars and they lie in court. And I know that for a fact through experience and working with other lawyers. There's 0% chance I said all police are fascists. 0% chance. Because I don't think that. Now Poppy's saying I said one cop was a fascist. Maybe. Oh, did I miss a gift? Although I see Karis send a heart. Thank you, Karis. Cricket sent. Cricket Sky Eagle. Maybe that was it. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Teresa with the heart. Andy with the style me up. All right. So I'm trying to scroll back and see a couple of these guys. Thank you, guys. There is a 0% chance that I said all police are fascists. 0. Because I don't think they are. So I would never say that. I mean, literally, I don't think. I have no problems with police. A lot of police lie when they get into court. That's a huge problem. But thinking police are all fascists, 0% chance. I got news for you. I'm the guy most of you wouldn't like when it comes to police, because I'm the guy who's like law and order guy. I want the cops to do their job. I want them to throw everybody in jail, with zero sympathy. So I am the last guy that's going to agree with the far left. Yeah, no. I must have said something different. That's fine, Daniel. I mean, I appreciate that it literally sounded that way, but there's no way. Yeah. Yeah, no. I'm the guy who wants police to throw. Now, the ICE stuff, that's a whole different story, right? On the ICE stuff, those guys are trouble. But yeah. But generally speaking, I want cops to throw everybody in jail. And people on the left get pissed at me, and I'm like, sorry. I don't have a lot of sympathy for your life experience that made you become a criminal. It's like, No, Daniel just said that he apologized, that he thought he heard something different. That's okay. No, leave him alone, guys. The fact that he said that makes me think Daniel might have literally thought he heard it. Because a troll wouldn't go back and say, sorry, I thought I heard that, but I didn't, or whatever. So don't worry about it. Yeah, because like I said, I tend to piss people. I would say I piss people off when we talk about cops. But again, I've also worked on a lot of police issues. You've got cops that lie, which is a problem in court and things. So the cops that are going to talk about the reflecting pool, a lot of them could lie in court quite easily. They do that, unfortunately. That's a problem. That's a big problem. Anyway. Yeah, that's what I figured. Street red, exactly. Anyway, what else, guys? Well, we got 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. I may need to make a little food tonight. I mean, I've got food, but I'm not in the mood to bake. It's too late. I don't want to bake anything, you know. The plants? Well, the plants, I mean, I only brought in one or two that the plants don't mind. 90s they like. Getting above 95, you got to be careful, although most of my plants like it. But I've got a lemon tree that's only 2 years old or what, a year and a half old, that I bring in to be careful. And I've got a carnivorous plant I bring in. Both of them, when it hits 95, I bring them in. Every other plant, all the other plants like it. They don't mind. My plants don't mind when it gets hot. So none of them really do. So they're fine with this weather. And DC typically gets to be 90s. So my plants all kind of like that. No pictures changed. Picture over sideboard? I'm not sure what you mean. Gizmo? Oh, not Gizmo. I mean James. Picture over your sideboard? What do you mean? You mean this? That's the same France picture, the Paris picture, if that's what you mean. Nothing's changed. I'm not sure what a sideboard is. The ice shooting at Houston, I still need to read up on it. That's the one that might be like the Afghan. Was it the Afghan guy? I've got to read up on that one because I saw the story and I went, ooh, but I didn't read up on it. You know? My carnivorous is a Drosera, which I got just for fun several years ago. It's doing okay. I mean, well, it did okay and then it did not okay. I think I brought it outside, and going from inside to outside was too quick of a change because it got into the 90s right away. So some of them kind of died back. But because it had seeded, I've got multiple things here. Oh, I thought the guy was Afghan, or did he fight in Afghanistan? Was that it, Jennifer? Was that why I saw Afghanistan in the story? Or are we talking about two different guys? That's what that's a possibility too. A Mexican was killed, a Mexican man. Okay, let me look. Okay. It might be a different one that I'm thinking of then. That's probably a different one. Afghan interpreter, but that's not is the same Mexican guy who was killed an Afghan interpreter? Probably not. An Afghan interpreter would have been usually an Afghani guy. Are these the same stories or are these different stories? Mexican man that's been in the U.S. 35 years. Anyway, I'll look it up and see. Yeah, I'm not up on that, or I can Google it right now. Different stories. Okay, thank you. I was going to say they have to be different because the one that I saw was the Afghan story because he was an Afghan and he helped our troops interpret. It was like, such a feel-good story. And of course, they got him. I'll type in Mexican ice and see if that's enough. Mexican ice cream. That's not exactly what I was going for. Google, thanks. Not really. Is there Mexican ice cream? I didn't know that was a thing. Mexico to seek criminal charges over deaths linked to ICE after fatal shooting of Houston man. Good. Mexico will request criminal charges over 17 Mexicans, 17, who died in ICE custody or during immigration enforcement operations by the Trump administration. Mexican foreign minister announced that further escalated tensions with the U.S. Carries no legal weight, so that doesn't really help. This story doesn't have enough in it. This PBS story is kind of fluffy. Oops. Maybe it's this one on Reuters, assuming Reuters doesn't make me log in. Oh, come on. Oh, no. Tell me. I want the story. Oh, fuck me. Oh, forget it. I hate these stories. People walking down the street, eating an ice cream cone, worrying about the latest shooting. And you're like, tell me the fucking news. I hate things like this. It's like on Canal Street in Houston's East End, where taco trucks, tortillas, and Spanish language signboards line the streets, neighbors are still leaving flowers. That's great. I want to know what the fuck happened. I hate stories like that because they never tell you what actually. Like, if you know the story, you're like, okay, like, I don't know what happened. I'm trying to find what happened, and they're giving me fluff. I forget what you call that kind of story. I've always hated those stories. You know what I mean? Like, he was walking down a street. A little ball rolled by. It's like they're written like a poem or a haiku. Thank you, Terry. I don't think it's AI. It's a certain kind of, that was Reuters. That was not AI. But it's a certain kind of story where they write it as a rather than saying this happened, it literally is, it was sunny that day and two children were playing ball. A bird tweeted. And you're like going, oh my God. Is it human interest? I don't know what you call it. Well, no, but it's not just fluff because it's about a shooting. But I'm like, oh my God, tell me what happened with the shooting. And I get it. It's a kind of story, but it's a kind of story I've always hated because it always happens like right now when I'm trying to find the story itself. And I just scrolled that story, by the way, and it never said like, here's what happened. You know? Let me see here. I still can't find anything here. Maybe this one from CNN, maybe. A man who was fatally shot by ICE agent in Houston while on his way to work Tuesday was not the target of their immigration operation. Oh, God. The shooting took place around 7 a.m. at Lorenzo Salgado Araujo. As Lorenzo Salgado Araujo attempted to evade arrest when agents tried to conduct a traffic stop. ICE said in a previous statement, the agency did not specify whether he was the target. Texas authorities had previously notified ICE about two individuals, neither of whom was Salgado, traveling in a white van believed to be in the U.S. without legal status. The agents then conducted surveillance on a target's address, and weeks prior to the incident, they noted two white vans at the property. The van was registered. They noticed a van that was registered to Salgado, who agents determined to be in the country illegally. The ICE vehicles attempted to block in the van, which struck at least one of the cars. Agents say, ICE says, Salgado rammed into a law enforcement vehicle and refused to follow several verbal commands. Salgado's family disputes the account, saying they believe the man who'd been seeking a work permit would have stopped and complied with federal agents if he'd known the car following him belonged to ICE or other law enforcement. Okay, that's a damn good point, right? You live in America and some unmarked car is trying to force you off the street. If it were me, I would assume these were like gangbangers trying to what do you call it? Carjack. We had some of the, in DC, it's been a little better, but was it like a year ago? We had like several carjackings in DC. I mean, this story is also very confusing. This story from CNN, very confusing as well. I'm kind of shocked that this is how hard it is sometimes to get the news. I am not finding any stories that are like, here is what we know happened, we believe happened. Here's the man, right? It's even that CNN story was like all over the place. And it's not because the story's confusing. That's not a good enough excuse for writing being, okay, maybe CBS. Let's try this. Mexican national fatally shot by immigration in Houston, had no criminal convictions during his decades living in the U.S., was driving a crew to a home building site when he was killed. Lorenzo worked from sunrise to sunset. He'd been working towards securing legal status, so he was here illegally, after neglecting that for years as he built homes. Salgado was shot after he ignored commands and attempted to ram an officer who fired his weapon in self-defense. Homeland Security claims, but they lie a lot about these things. ICE officers were targeting him because he was living in the country without legal permissions, according to the department. A video shot by a bystander shows a black vehicle angled towards a white van. That's his car. Their doors wide open. A bleeding and handcuffed man groans loudly on the ground, and his leg shakes. Other federal officers stand over at least three other handcuffed men. Yeah, I'm not getting enough details to know what the hell happened here. This story isn't quite making sense to me. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't. This story, there's not enough information. He was here illegally. Nice man, but he was here illegally. And did he try to get away or ram them or something when they tried to stop him? Did he realize they were ICE? Did he? I mean, I'm not getting enough from these stories yet to fully appreciate what's going on. You know what I mean? Like that's still. I'm not reading Renee Good yet. Not yet. I'm not. Renee Good, we've got video. So we literally know what happened with Renee Good. This one we don't know. Also, Renee Good was an American citizen. He was here illegally. It's a totally different story there. It just is. I don't know enough about this case, but Renee Good, they shot an American citizen in the face for doing nothing. In this case, I still want to know. These stories are not telling us enough of what happened. They keep saying, I want to know more about the story. If there's video, well, you said that it mentioned the one person's video. It would help to see the video. I'm just surprised that all of these stories are very vague. They're all kind of, like I said, all of these stories are just kind of vague. Well, the problem is now I'm finding news stories. Excuse me, I don't want a news story. I want the video. New York Times. Let's try this. ICE officer kills a Mexican man in Houston. That's at least a seminal story. Federal agent shot and killed a man from Mexico during a traffic stop in Houston. Except this is going to be ICE's version, which isn't going to be credible. Yeah, director said the man had tried to run down the officer who opened fire. I mean, maybe, but we know ICE lies about these things. Though no evidence was immediately provided to support that account. There we go. ICE agents stopped a vehicle around 6:50 a.m. and tried to arrest the driver. Described him as an illegal alien, but did not say why he was being sought. His statement said the driver had weaponized his vehicle, but they've lied about this before and tried to run over the agent who fired at him. We don't know that that's true. Yeah, this is the first story, so it doesn't tell us enough. We don't know. Yeah, that's the first. These stories aren't telling us enough. That's the first New York Times story, but all it simply has is what ICE is claiming, and the ICE guys, they lie a lot on this stuff, we found, unfortunately. Right, he was on his way to work, but they could have stopped him and he didn't like it because he's here illegally. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's on his way to work doesn't tell us anything about what happened next. But I don't trust the ICE people. Yeah, I don't trust the agents. I don't trust what they do, and I certainly don't trust their version of the stories. And I did read that they didn't have body cameras, which was interesting, right? Because that would have helped, wouldn't it have? Now, I don't know whether they were required to wear body cameras, whether all of them have body cameras. So that would be a question I would have as to why they didn't have them, right? Yeah, but his family isn't proof either. His family didn't witness it, did they? Or did they? Did his family witness it? I want to know from people who witnessed it what they claim happened. We know what the ICE people are claiming, but they lie a lot. So I want to know from the other witnesses what they say. A story from ABC. That may be, I don't know if that's one I saw. Does it have more? Let me pull it up here. Posted a story from ABC to see if by chance it's got more background. Let's see here. Right. I said they tried to stop him. He didn't follow verbal commands. We know that. Weaponized his vehicle. That's what they say. Nope. Yeah, the ABC story doesn't say anything. Actually, it literally doesn't. No offense, visionary, but the ABC story doesn't say anything. All it said was his family says he was a good man. I want to know literally what happened on the scene. You know what I mean? Because again, the ICE guys say you weaponized your car. I don't trust them. Actually, they've lied repeatedly about this. Remember the woman whose car they kind of ran off the road and then they pulled their guns on her. She wasn't was she the woman working with the local news station? With the local public broadcasting? I don't know if that was the same woman or not. But remember, there was that video of the woman and they literally kind of ran her off the road and then they stopped in front of her and pulled their guns on her. And she's like, what are you doing? So that's what I mean. Like, I want to know the facts before I decide, but I certainly will not trust ICE's version of the story. That's for sure. That's for sure. But that's why I told you, like, when I do this kind of stuff, I want to know the facts. I mean, that's just sort of, I've done enough of these things in the past where sometimes, it's, well, you get it. You get it. You want to know the facts before jumping to a conclusion. So, and ISIS facts aren't enough by far. See, the sun's coming in, but we're only going to go another minute or two, so we're okay. Oh God, yeah, Todd Blanche confirmation hearing. Ugh. Anyway. Oh, yeah, very bright now. Ooh la la. Well, they should all be wearing cameras. But I want to know the answer to that too. Do they not have cameras? They may not for all the agents. They were claiming originally they didn't have enough cameras. I don't know if that's true or not. But correct, Justin. Repeatedly, there have been lies. I know, Tanya. Repeatedly, ICE has lied about far too many of these stories. Remember when that woman was the spokeswoman, that blonde woman who was like 28 years old, McLaughlin or whatever? And like every time she would put out some ridiculous statement, every time they shot somebody, and it was always like, and she was always proven wrong. I mean, and again, like I said, ICE's statement, I trust as far as I can throw them, but I want to know more. I want to know more about the rest of the story. So Ukraine's still doing better than Russia. The problem is, like we said, it's still kind of a maybe not a stalemate, but it's where Ukraine's doing better, but in order to win, it's going to take years and years and years and years and years and years and years, right? Because you're doing better, but you're like advancing really slowly and the other guy is going back very slowly. Yeah. So that's the problem. Still better to have better to have Ukraine be doing better than doing worse than Russia, right? Even if it's going slowly, it's still better. But, anyway, I know I'm going to yawn again. That's all right. I'm going to close. It's almost 7:15. And I started on time today too, so we'll close up shop. And I got to figure out if I'm going to make dinner or what. I don't know. I may have something frozen. I don't know. I mean, I bought stuff to make like sloppy joes on the weekend, which will be good. But I know it's a nice little sun today coming in. I normally don't have it open because it interferes with the camera, but it's actually, kind of pretty. Well, pretty. It's bright, as you can see, but it's pretty-ish. I don't know if I could, although I'm going to turn this off anyway, but I don't know whether making this brighter, it helps a little. It's still too bright on the problem is this makes it too bright on my face. But you can see the difference, I'll show you the difference, the camera. See, that's the difference the ring light makes. Oops. Wait, go back on. See, that's the ring light on 100% and then off completely. So you can see, like, it does, even with the sun coming in like this, it does make it help a little bit. I'm golden, exactly. Anyway. All right, guys, it's 7:15. I'm going to sign off. We will talk tomorrow. Oh, today's Thursday. That's right. Saturday is Coffee Talk, remember. Saturday at 11 a.m. we will do our hangout for the monthly subscribers, TikTok, YouTube, Discord, Substack, etc. So anybody who's a monthly subscriber, a paid subscriber, join us. Otherwise, back tomorrow night with everybody, 6 o'clock Eastern Time, U.S. So we will be here. Okie dokie. All right. On the butter cow post. I know. I want to see that. I'm curious what the butter cow. which is a staple of, I don't know if that's Iowa. Is Iowa the one that usually does the buttercup? I've actually never been to a state fair. Because I've lived in DC for so long. Thank you, Simon. I've lived in DC for so long. It's in DC? Really? Oh. That I've never gone to a state fair, and it's ridiculous because I'd love to go to state fairs. I want to eat fried Snickers, fried pizza. I think every state has one. I've just never been. Like Illinois, we're downstate. I never went. I'm not near Iowa. I know Minnesota. No, I ought to find out like who's got the best state fair and like go. Or county fair, same different county fair, same idea. But find out like who's got the best one. You know what I mean? Would be kind of cool to go check out. Yeah, but you can do it once, Well, actually, it's probably down like at Springfield or something. You know what I mean? It's just like too far down. But we never went because we're from Northern Illinois. And I'm going to guess we'll do a quick check. Where would it be? Was it Springfield? Where is the state fair? Right. It's right. 6 hours away, probably. It was never even a consideration. Let me see here. Where is the Illinois State Fair typically located? Is it Springfield?
Yes, the Illinois State Fair is held in Springfield. It's been there for well over a century, so if you're ever in central Illinois in August, that's where the fair fun happens.
Is the state fair the big fair, or are county fairs big too in Illinois?
The Illinois State Fair is definitely the big one, drawing people from all over the state and beyond. But county fairs are also a big deal, especially in more rural areas. They have their own charm, livestock shows, local competitions, and that close-knit community vibe. So both have their place, but the state fair is the big stage.
Oh, see that, but that's why, Ashley, you're right. What is it? 6 hours to Springfield? Like Springfield's like. I've never been to Springfield. Like I grew up in Illinois forever. Never been to Springfield. Did Cook County ever have a fair? I'm not Cook County. We were never Cook County. We were always DuPage. But from the south suburbs and western suburbs, JMC, Chicago. But yeah, Colorado. No. I mean, seriously, like I would always love to. I know that's interesting. See, since I leaned forward, it's getting more of the light off the Ring camera, which is funny. Making me look very tan, but it's getting more light off the Ring camera or the Ring light now that I'm leaning forward. Yep. Same here, JMC. Anyway, very interesting. Yeah. I would like to check out the state fairs at some point. It would be pretty cool. I mean, you're not going to die eating one state fairs, fried Twinkies and, everything. I want the Snickers is my favorite though. Fried Snickers sounds just absolutely wonderful. I could make one, I'm sure, but a fried Snickers sounds just absolutely to die for. I'm sure they're pretty easy, right? I mean, you make the batter and you just fry them up. You could probably, wonder if you could saute a Snickers. You could probably saute a Snickers. You could air fry. Could you batter a Snickers and air fry it? The only thing is the batter would have to be strong enough to hold, to not fall apart. Ooh, see, now I'm going to look this up. Now you've got me wondering. Hold on. Let's look for air fried Snickers. They exist. Let's see. Air fryer Snickers. But we'd have to find one that's got I'm not seeing a lot of good reviews here. Oh, cut Snickers in crescent roll dough. That doesn't sound good enough. And then air frying them. That doesn't sound good enough. That's not crescent. I don't think crescent sounds good enough. I would almost think you'd want to use not crescent dough. You'd almost want to use what's the pastry one. You know what I mean? The flaky pastry one. Yeah, I'd have to find one that's got better reviews. None of these have got great numbers. I'm surprised that none of these have great numbers of reviews. This is crazy. Oh, deep fried Snickers. This has got 53. All right, here we go. Here's a good one. Like puff pastry. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. Let's see how this one does it. Although this one's doing it in a pastry that almost looks like the hot dogs, whatchamacallem, the corn dogs. Put your chosen candy bar on a skewer, dip it in batter, and deep fry. We know that. I hate these recipe sites. Let me talk to you for 10 paragraphs first and then give you a recipe. Bisquick pancake mix. Really? Really? Oh. Look what I've got in my fridge. I have 2 of these left in my fridge. I forgot about that. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The only thing is they're literally frying them, and I don't want to fry them. I don't want to fry them. That's too much. That's too much. Also, I feel like it's a waste of oil when you fry them too. You know what I mean? The problem is if you put it in an air fryer, everything's going to fall off. You know? Good idea, but everything's going to fall off in an air fryer. Interesting idea, though, using the pancake mix is an interesting idea. I don't know if the pancake mix, maybe it doesn't need sugar since it's a Snickers. Scotland for the Mars bars? Yeah. I'm just curious, like I said, what the best way is to do this, though, because I'd rather air fry it, but I don't know. Yeah, Bisquick, milk, oil. We know what the oil, egg. Egg is interesting, I guess. Crushed cornflakes. Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. You don't want to use good oil. But it would need to, I mean, if you dip it in oil, that's a little easier. I don't want to dip it in oil, though. If you dip it in oil, it's going to be easier. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not convinced on this one yet. I think this is going back in the fridge. Interesting idea, though, but very interesting idea. But you'd have to encase it. I think you'd almost have to encase it. That's why they're using the crescent rolls. It's got to be something that's going to hold it better. And I think that's a crescent roll, or like you said, like a pastry dough, or what were you calling the pastry dough? Not phyllo, the other stuff. Puff pastry. Yeah. Like a puff pastry or something is what you'd need. You know, because you can use batter if you're dipping it in oil. If you're doing air fry, you can't do batter. It's got to be dough. You know, it's going to have to be some kind of dough if it's in the oven. You know, and even then, you want to be careful that it doesn't just like erupt out all over the place. You know, that's interesting. That's an interesting idea. Interesting idea. Huh. Smithsonian exhibit? What do you mean? Of what? Adult slime. Interesting. Yeah. Well, we'll see. Maybe I'll get puff pastry and try it. Does sound like a good idea. I'm sure it'd be delicious. Chocolate chip pancakes I find don't work. I've done them a lot. They don't work. Because they end up being like the pancake is too not sweet enough and the chips don't, and you'd think it would work. They don't work. I don't find they work well. Bake it in puff pastry, chill it, then air fry it. Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. That's interesting. Maybe, I don't know. I would think air frying might make the puff pastry already pretty crispy. You know what I mean? Wouldn't you think? Cookie dough. There's an idea. Put the Snickers in cookie dough, you mean? Well, you know what you do? First of all, you probably, like, I've got a small oven-proof container. Probably I would put it in the oven-proof little serving dish first, because you don't want that thing dripping through the holes in the air fryer. You know what I mean? No, I'm very intrigued by this. But it's going to need to be some kind of a thicker dough to wrap this thing with. I don't know. We'll see. I got to make dinner first, but I'm very intrigued by the Snickers idea. We will see. I know this is but like I said, I'm just not sure. I'm not sure what to wrap it in. The crescent rolls could work. They could work. You know, I don't know. All right. Let's see though. Yeah. Well, I mean, I can easily put anything in the air fryer. I can put my parchment and stuff to protect it. That's okay. It's just, like I said, figuring out a dough that's enough to hold the Snickers. I feel like that's got to be a bread. And so it's going to have to be some kind of a breading, which probably is going to be, puff pastry, even though I don't want a bunch of puff pastry lying around. And puff pastry, I feel like it might be too fluffy. I want more of a pancake covering that's been fried, to be honest. Frying it would be better, but I don't want to waste the oil. That just seems like a waste to me, All right. I'm going to go, guys. Now that you've piqued my interest here, we shall see. All right, Discord, I'll see you guys later. You've definitely piqued my interest on this one, but I can ask Claude. My nephew always asks Claude for recipes. He said Claude is quite good at it. So we'll see. All right. YouTube.